Hi, and welcome to the Story of Cooking. Today we're here at Delmonicos, which most people know because it's one of the oldest restaurants in America. It opened up its doors in 1820 when Swiss brothers John and Peter Delmonico opened a restaurant that served French pastries. It didn't become a full-fledged restaurant until 1837 when John and Peter Delmonico, along with Lorenzo, opened a nice big fine dining establishment. In the 1700s, New York was littered with oyster cellars and coffee shops, but there wasn't any fine dining, and Delmonico's was the first to do that. In fact, they were the first to use the word restaurant, which was a French term, so that's why they're credited with opening the first restaurant in America. So let's go inside and check it out. Hi, and welcome to the Story of Cooking. I'm Sarah Nicholas. Hi, Chef.
Hi,
nice to meet
welcome
you.
to Delmonicos.
Thank you. We're here with Chef Billy Oliva, and he's the executive chef, and you've been here about 6 years.
Almost 7 years, yeah,
Okay.
6.5 years.
And we're here to try some classic dishes and learn a little history about them.
Sure, and there's loads of history here. A lot of furs, baked Alaska, eggs Benedict, lobster Newburgh, you name it, all kinds of history as well.
Awesome. Well, let's do it.
Why don't we head back to the kitchen?
Okay. All right, Chef, so we're back in the kitchen, and you're going to show me some of the dishes that were invented here, and obviously probably signature dishes, right, of Delmonico.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with eggs Benedict. Why don't we start? We'll start with our brioche, and we're just going to.
Do you make your own brioche?
We do downstairs, actually. We make all our own bread, all our own desserts, ice creams, everything is here.
Wow. And so, again, this was invented at Delmonico's, correct?
Invented in Delmonicos. So the Delmonico brothers like to name dishes after their patrons. So Mr. and Mrs. Le Benedict used to come all the time. They were regular customers. And one day they said, you know what, we come here all the time. We're bored of the menu. Create us a dish.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is what the Delmonico
Well,
brothers
thank
came
you.
up with. And it's been around ever since. So
Yeah.
we're just going to pop this in the oven.
Okay.
So, there. And the next thing we'll do is, first thing we have to remember is not to forget that.
Okay. Yeah, that's usually what happens, right?
And then, that's always what happens. And then we're going to start our hollandaise. So here we have just some egg yolk that we cracked already. And we'll dump that in. And we have a little Tabasco.
You want me to put some
Yeah,
Tabasco in?
absolutely. We'll do a little
Couple
lemon
dashes?
juice. Yeah, a couple dashes. And we'll put a little tarragon vinegar. So it's a tarragon vinegar reduction with peppercorn, shallots, tarragon obviously,
Right.
a little Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce, okay.
So now the fun part. So now we're gonna whisk.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, we'll go
Alright.
over here to the,
Or the big one?
without you burning your hands, you might want to take a towel. And just a figure 8 motion, as kind of fast as you
Figure
can.
Like this?
Yeah. So now we're gonna add our butter, and then here we have just a little cold water. If it gets too thick, we'll just thin it out a little bit. So should
Keep
we go
whisking?
together? Yeah. Is my hand in the way?
No.
And that looks about good.
Now the trick is to keep it
Keep
so it
it
doesn't
warm.
break. Huh?
So we're gonna put it, first we're gonna season it.
Okay.
A little salt and pepper. And salt. I knew I had some salt around. And then we'll just take that. And we can, no, we're going to do that without. Actually got the right consistency.
I hired.
That's it. When can you start?
If this is my only job, I'm sorry, I have to decline.
And we'll keep that warm for a minute. So we have to lightly grill the prosciutto cotto. So that we
move
have
down?
to go down to the
Okay.
broiler there.
Already?
And make sure we have all our tools. So we're going to come here.
Okay.
So, and we're just gonna, this is cooked already, so we just want to warm it up.
Sure.
Now that's gonna go on the grill for a second. So now, we just flip it. Okay, so we just want to cook that, just want to warm it through. So that's good. We don't want to dry it out too much.
Yep.
Just gonna grab our plate. Put that back. And we're almost ready to, you can actually smell the
Oh yeah.
rosemary and the
Absolutely.
thyme. Okay, so we'll go back down on this
Alrighty.
side where we have our ham, we have our brioche. So we're gonna put this pot out of the way. We'll slide that little one over.
All right. On the flame or no?
Right on the flame, yeah. We'll
Oh,
throw-
we're gonna reheat our eggs.
We're gonna reheat our eggs. So we poached these earlier, just
Mhm.
so it'll be a little bit easier. When we poach them, we use a little vinegar,
Sure.
white vinegar,
Do the
plain
swirl?
white vinegar. Do the swirl, and we crack the eggs into a small cup, and they go in.
Okay. Just
So
dump
we'll
them
go
on
ahead,
in.
yeah, dump them in, nice and easy.
All four?
Yeah, this way in case we have an accident with one, we're in good shape.
Poached eggs are very delicate.
So while the eggs are heating up, we can start to plate the rest of the eggs Benedict.
Perfect.
So we'll move some of this stuff out of the way. And bring this over here. What that might be. Here, if you want to do, or I could do the ham.
Okay.
Just right over.
Is this on your brunch menu?
This is on the menu all the time.
Oh, okay.
Never cut lunch, dinner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we sell tons of it. So that's ready, and now we just wait for our eggs to get hot. And because they're already poached,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to cook them for a long time. We just need to warm them through. The reason we do this is because we just sell so many of them.
Yeah, yeah, you have to do it in advance, I would think.
This is all the space we have. So
Eggs Benedict is one of my favorites, so I'm really looking forward to trying this.
I'd say these are probably hot enough. So we'll get this over. Strain the water really well.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever the egg doesn't roll off, that's a good
Right.
thing.
Do you want me to just...
Yeah, right over there. Yeah.
Well, that failed. Are you going to wipe the edges?
Yeah, we'll clean it up. We could change the plate. That's good. Yeah, we might.
Obviously, I like a lot of hollandaise.
We might need to change the plate. So now, what we're gonna do, do you like truffle?
I do.
A lot
Yeah,
of truffle?
I do. When you
wanna
said it
shave
earlier,
truffle,
I was
or you want
like,
me to shave the truffle?
you shave the truffle. I
Okay,
don't want
I'll
to
shave
ruin
the truffle.
anything. You had me at truffle when you said it earlier.
Okay, a little smaller.
It's a rich dish.
And then we're gonna finish it with just a little caviar.
So
Eggs and
tell me
caviar.
about the truffles and the caviar.
So these are Perigord truffles
Mhm.
from France. They're in season now until about, I think they're around for about another month.
Okay.
And the caviar is just an American caviar
Mm-hmm.
that we use to garnish stuff with. Might as well go all out, and then just a little bit of green in the middle, and that's it.
Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Besides my mishap on the side of the plate. Other than that, that looks beautiful. All right, this looks fantastic. Now, how about a Delmonico steak?
That sounds good. Let's go
Okay.
to the grill.
Alrighty. Okay, so this is a lot of beef. It's beautiful. Go through your different cuts.
So here we have the boneless Delmonico steak.
Okay.
This is a bone-in Delmonico steak that's dry aged,
Okay.
and this is our double Delmonico steak.
All right. So,
So
how
let's
do you
get
dress
started.
this
So
up?
it's very simple. We don't do a lot to these steaks.
Uh-huh.
It's just salt, kosher salt, and pepper. And we just grind it up. So we're just gonna pull it out. Should we put this guy on?
So do most people come in here and what? Medium rare steak? I always, when I go to a good restaurant that has good steak, I always ask, well, what does the chef like to cook it to?
I would say probably the most is medium rare.
Yeah.
But we get well done and medium well, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're paying for it,
Exactly,
so
exactly.
it's their choice. So these are just about done. So we'll have our guys finish them, and we'll move on to the lobster Newburg.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll get started.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just take a little bit of oil,
All right.
and the lobster.
Just tell me what you need. Lobster.
The lobster has been kind of cooked already, so we're gonna start with the lobster.
There you go.
I'll take him.
And you said it had been cooked in the sous vide machine already.
Yeah, we cook it at a very low temperature,
Mm-hmm.
and we cook it about, let's say, 50%,
Okay.
and then we cool it off really quickly, and then we finish it to order.
Okay.
Just because it would take too long. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
So next, we're gonna take a little bit of the butter now.
Here, I'll let you pinch off what you want.
Yeah. Take one. Not there. And you can see as the lobster is finishing cooking, the shell is changing color.
Right.
And then we're gonna go with some hedgehog mushrooms. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna deglaze it with a little bit of brandy. This is the fun part.
Watch out. Stand back.
Okay, so hit it with a little brandy.
Flambe. Right?
That's the fun part. That was actually why I wanted to become a chef.
Oh, yeah?
So, I have the lobster there.
Very dramatic.
We have some lobster stock in that copper pot there.
Okay.
So we're gonna add that.
And there's no cream in that, or just a
This
little cream.
is very little cream in this.
Yeah.
This is just the richness of the vegetables. We use a little bit of star anise in here.
Oh, wow, okay.
The star anise, fennel, onion, celery, garlic, a lot of herbs.
Smells good.
And now we'll take all our vegetables. We'll take a little bit of asparagus, a little bit of carrots. And this is really just for garnish.
Okay.
The original dish was just lobster and toast and sauce. So it just, the vegetables just give it a nice,
Sure.
make it more interesting
Yep.
and something.
Lighten it up, make it a little
lighten up.
healthier.
So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna throw our brioche in the oven for a minute. So if
Okay.
you hand me that, and I'll grab a tray. I'm gonna take that off.
So other than the dishes that you always have, how often do you change your menu?
We try and change about 4 times a year. Just grab a
Oops,
little
sorry.
cream in there.
Just based on whatever's in season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and occasionally if I get bored every now and again, we'll change.
Have you invented any recipes here at Delmonicos?
The bacon that we do on the menu now is mine. One of the chickens, we do a Himalayan salt brick chicken, which is mine.
This?
Yeah, I'll take the rest of the lobster.
Oh, Himalayans. I love cooking on Himalayan salt.
Yeah, so we actually have bricks and we press, it's kind of like a brick chicken.
Yep. That sounds
Only
delicious.
we press it with the Himalayan salt.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really, comes out really well. And we're gonna just grab a little cayenne and
Okay.
some of the herbs.
Sure. Chives?
Yep, and chives and Italian flat leaf parsley. And in the sauce, when we make the sauce, there's a little bit of tarragon as well.
Kind of bring out that star anise flavor?
Yeah. I kind of like that flavor, like
Yeah.
Pernod.
It smells delicious.
This is just a little bit of stock, just to thin it out a little, so we can thicken it back up
Okay.
and make it a little richer. All right, so we're about ready.
Okay.
Our butter is kind of incorporated into the sauce. We're gonna plate it. We'll take
Alright.
our brioche out. It's kind of a dish that gets a little messy. So we're gonna slide over just kind of to the table there, and we'll use this dish here to plate it up.
Alright.
Kind of try to put it So our brioche is just going to go at the top.
Oh, it really does smell really good.
So we'll take this out. Let's see, so you can see that. These guys in. We leave it in the shell. And the reason we leave it in the shell is we just think that the shell protects kind of the cooking.
Okay.
Kind of protects the meat, keeps it from shrinking a little bit.
Right.
And then sometimes the waiters
We'll take it out.
will take it out
This
for the
one,
customers.
does everyone know what to do with the shell?
Okay, so I need a spoon from back there?
Sure. Absolutely. Here you go.
It's a little big, but it'll work. I'll just get some of the sauce. I think we're about have enough sauce.
Okay, we're good.
And we're gonna finish it. Kind of just like we finished our
Oh,
eggs Benedict.
so delicious.
You
This
know,
really
when-
is a rich dish.
When the truffles are in season, we try and use them as much as we can.
Well, people, I mean, love truffles, right?
Yeah, they go crazy for them.
Me too.
The white truffles even more. And then just a dollop of caviar on top. From the plate.
Beautiful.
And that's it.
Beautiful. All right, this looks beautiful. I can't wait to try it all. Let's go out to the table and we'll talk a little bit about the history of the three dishes and obviously enjoy some good food.
Sounds good.
All right, chef. So again, everything looks beautiful. Let's kind of start somewhere. Where would you like to start?
So why don't we start with the eggs Benedict?
Okay. It's definitely a popular dish in the South too. I kind of always thought of it as being a Southern thing until I came here.
And Sunday brunch and hangover food and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's a good hangover food. That's true. Got to get everything in there. Tell us again what's all in the dish.
So we have
as well.
Perigo, we have some nice toasted buttered brioche. We have a little prosciutto cotto, a cooked Italian ham with rosemary, thyme. We have some American caviar and some Perigo truffle.
That ham is really delicious.
Yeah, it has a nice flavor.
Yeah.
Works really well with the eggs.
And that hollandaise sauce is second to none.
How was yours?
Oh, that's delicious. I like that a lot. All right, so let's move
Let's move on to the lobster Newburg, and
Okay.
we'll save the steak for last.
Alrighty. Oh.
Yeah, so we have a lot of history about this dish. It was Captain Wenberg, who was he was a fisherman or spent a lot of time in the ocean back in the 1800s. He was also friends with, he was a trader, he was an importer, exporter, and he spent a lot of time here. When he would be in New York with the Delmonico brothers, they became very good friends, and he brought this recipe to them.
Okay.
And he says, well, you have to make it for me, and they did, and they loved it. Then the Delmonico brothers had a falling out.
Oh.
So they took the dish off the menu, and their customers complained. So he says, okay, we have to put it back on the menu,
Sure.
but we're not going to put it back on the menu as lobster a la Wenberg because we don't want to speak to him anymore, and we don't want to associate with him anymore. So it became lobster Newburg.
That is delicious. That sauce is amazing. And you can really, that star anise really
Yeah,
comes
it comes
out.
through a little bit of the cayenne. It's a little bit of a process to do, but it's worth it.
Oh, it's definitely worth it. We're going to save that for later. Move on to the
And then
steak.
the last one is the Delmonico steak.
And
so
this is the
this is
ribeye.
the wet age boneless ribeye.
Okay.
And then it's just grilled, salt and pepper,
Okay.
and we finish it, we brush it with a little bit of butter and some fried onions.
Okay, and there's
On
a
the
history
top.
behind this? Just
Well, what I know about the Delmonico steak was back in the 1800s, the Delmonico brothers, it wasn't always a ribeye.
Yep.
It was whatever they thought was the best that was available to them at the time. Today it's the ribeye just because of the fat content, the richness of the steak, and it works really well for us. We sell hundreds of them.
Oh, I bet.
So I'll push those to the side,
Okay.
and we'll just go ahead and
So
give
this
it-
isn't steak related, but I hear there's some supernatural history as well.
Oh, there is a little bit of supernatural history.
Is it
So
haunted
they say it's haunted.
restaurant?
When back in the 1800s, the restaurant was actually 9 floors. So there
Uh-huh.
was a restaurant, there was a hotel, there was all kinds of things going on here. And the rumor
Simple,
is that somebody was murdered upstairs, and a lot of ghost stories. A lot of ghost stories. There was another gentleman who used to clean up here at night, and he said every night the ghosts had a party here down in the basement.
Well, this place actually was a site for a lot of parties, cotillions, balls back in
Sure.
the day. It was where like the rich elite Europeans and Americans came to visit.
Sure, there was a lot of firsts here. The first ladies' luncheon was held here.
Oh, okay.
It was the first restaurant also to hire a woman. It was the first restaurant
Nice.
to allow women to congregate,
Uh-huh.
as well as all the different firsts on the culinary end.
And it was the first place to use the term restaurant.
Restaurant,
Yeah.
printed menus.
Steak is delicious, by the way, if I didn't say so. All right, so these are Abe Lincoln's favorite potatoes, correct?
That's it.
And there's a lot of history, too, about people who were patrons here, correct?
So a lot of famous people. Mark Twain. Every president since Abraham Lincoln has been here. Charles Dickens. The Wolf of Wall Street
Ah,
was another one that was used to frequent here.
I bet you have people that come back here like every day for lunch, too. Like,
Oh,
not
we get-
necessarily famous people, but
We get a lot
Lot
of
of
regulars.
regulars.
Yeah, the bar is filled with a lot of characters that come in every single day.
very nice. Okay, so these are the potatoes, the Abe Lincoln potatoes. So the story about this is Abe Lincoln loved these potatoes, and I'm sure I'm going to as well. Oh, I thought they were going to be mashed.
No, so there's all kinds of. There's
my
just a few
gosh.
calories in here.
Oh my goodness,
If we could get the cheese.
that's amazing. You can't really go wrong though. Cheese, bacon, cream, butter, potatoes. Awesome. That would go good on the side of a steak, for sure.
It works
Yeah.
perfect.
And the next dish we have is our dessert.
So yeah,
To
we're
cap
going
off our
from
meal,
potatoes
we have,
to
baked Alaska.
And it was invented here by Charles Reinhofer, who was, like one of the first celebrity chefs. So it's a layer of baked meringue, and inside is what we call, it's kind of a cross between an ice cream and a semi-Freddo.
Okay.
So we'll say banana semi-Freddo. There's an apricot jam
Nice.
underneath that, and then on the bottom is a walnut sponge.
Wow.
And
Okay,
it's
I'm
kinda
kind of embarrassed
cool.
to say I've never actually eaten one of these. So you,
It's kind of what we'll do is we're gonna kind of cut it open,
okay.
and I'll just kind of like, so you can kind of see the meringue. Then you have the banana. Then there's the apricot jam, and on the bottom is the walnut sponge.
Awesome.
So I turn it around, you can get a better look.
All right.
And then from there, just dig in.
Okay. That's
And-
never a problem.
The perfect baked Alaska, you should be able to, what we tried for anyway, you should be able to
Get
get
everything.
everything. So the middle part can't be too cold. Otherwise, if it's too cold, you won't be able to get all the way through.
It's delicious.
And the apricot and the banana go really well together.
They do. They really do.
Yeah.
And the walnut cake, awesome. Thank you so much, Chef. Everything has been absolutely delicious, beautiful, and great history. And I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Story of Cooking. I'm Sarah Nicholas, and just remember, behind every story is a great recipe.